Hello everybody, good morning to one and all. I am Kranth and I will be taking you communication skill classes. So whenever I speak about communication classes, I just want you to remember that in communication skills the most important thing is how exactly you are talking and what are the important words that you utter every day in your life, isn't it? So today I will be telling you something about the importance of daily slang, that means the daily used words, and how do we use words and what are the things that we have to remember. So let us see the slide here. Alright, so before I show you the slide, I just want you to remember that in especially communications, one time we can just look at, if you can see here, yes, we have the daily slang here mentioned, and this is supposed to be taught for you on 22nd day, but though we didn't have that much of time, I am putting this in front of you today. So daily slang is something that you have to remember every time whenever I tell you about the English and the communications. So now let us start ahead and move forward in the introduction to English. When I speak about English, the introduction to English is the most important thing, and as well when I speak about introductions and the basic talk of English, let us go ahead and see what are the basic words in our everyday life. So let us see here, if you can see the slide. We have commonly used terms daily, that is, hey, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. I'm sorry. Please accept our apologies. Can you please excuse me? Can you please excuse me? What do you think? Do you think it's all right? Glad to meet you. Where are you from? Take care, it is important. Is it urgent? So these are the few things that you have to remember whenever I speak about commonly used terms daily. So people, when I speak about commonly used terms daily, the most important thing that you have to remember is whenever you are talking or whenever you are using your commonly used words every day, how are you uttering them, or are you using them properly? Because I will tell you, before we start the bike and before we start driving the bike, the first thing is you should switch on the bike, isn't it? You have to switch on the bike, you have to start the bike, isn't it? So in English, commonly used terms are the most important, that in slang the first thing that you have to remember is start talking, like you just have to put these words in front of the people so that they will understand and they will start continuing the conversation. So these are the most important daily slang words I just want to tell you about. So let us see the slide here. We have the most commonly used word, if you can see, how are you. How are you is one of the most important words that we use every day. For example, if you can see here, so how are you is something which every time people use it, isn't it? So now can you see here, where are you from, this is something which we use it every day. I mean, almost I use it whenever I speak with students. I use it like ample of times. And then take care is very commonly used word, and then you have I'm fine, thank you. The right answer for this is this, I am fine, thank you, because if somebody asks you, how are you sir, how are you doing, how are you these days, you just have to say I am fine, thank you is the most important thing that you have to remember in the commonly used terms on daily perspective. So now, what is the importance of daily slang, people? So whenever I speak about the daily slang, the most important thing in the daily slang is how are you starting and how are you uttering the words. Whenever you are talking with somebody, how are you uttering the words is also the most important thing. So when I speak about commonly used slangs, we can say WhatsApp. Nowadays WhatsApp is something which everybody use. WhatsApp is not an application. WhatsApp is a single slang that is used to know how are they doing in their life. So what's up is like what are you up to, like what are you doing, or what are you these days. So this is the most important thing that you have to remember whenever I speak about commonly used terms daily, alright. So in the slangs, whenever I speak about how are you, or please accept our apologies, or if you can say what do you think. For example, what do you think is something where when you go for shopping, how am I looking, is this dress suiting me. Instead of all this, you can just say what do you think. I mean, instead of saying or giving an open-end trial question, you can just ask them, what do you think. You just wear the dress and look at your friend and say, what do you think. So it's an open-end trial question for them, that they can literally say what they feel about the dress that you're wearing. Alright, so this is the most important thing that you have to remember in the commonly used terms daily. So let us see some more commonly used terms. Did you have your breakfast? Shall we go out for a movie? What do you want to eat? Let's do something fun. Let's go and play outside. Am I disturbing you? May I know who you are? Can you tell me where to find good books? I wonder if you could tell me where to find good fruits. What do you think about it? Where do you work? So these are the most commonly used terms daily that we use. For example, if you're in a class, or if you are attending one of the sessions in your colleges, so when you go there, you'll be probably asking your friend, what do you think? Let us have some fun. So let us have some fun as by listening to the class and understanding it properly and implement it by learning it properly. So all these are the most commonly used terms daily in the English, and whenever you are talking these commonly used terms, make sure you do it with a lot of enthusiasm and persistence to learn English. So because when you don't know how to talk, or when you don't know how to start up English with a daily slang, you can never go forward in understanding English and communication. So guys, remember, English is just a language, but communication is something what you have to remember. Whenever you're talking in your own mother tongue influence, whenever you're talking in your own mother tongue, obviously you wouldn't put all these slangs, isn't it? So obviously when it says English, when it comes with English, the only thing that you have to remember is how are you talking and what are you putting forward in doing all these things. So let us see some more commonly basic questions of general things. What's your name? The general basic questions whenever you meet some new people. Well, my name is Kranth. Where are you from? I am from my state. What's your address? These are one of the important questions that will be asked. What do you do? I work at. Or I am a student. You have, where do you work? I work at. What do you do? I am a student, I am an employee, I'm a businessman, I'm an entrepreneur. You can say anything, since it's all about general basic questions. So why am I giving you all these basic things for you today is I have noted that so many people out here, whenever they go outside, whenever they talk with somebody, or whenever you are having a good conversation with people, the only thing that you forget is to have a basic introduction of your communications or your English, because you know, without having the basic general terms, you really can't go forward in just talking. For example, if I am here, you can directly done, you know, okay, if you are going to give a presentation, let us imagine it, I'll give you a basic example. You're going to give a presentation, and whenever I say you to give a presentation, you will be going there, and when you start the conversation, before starting the conversation, if you directly go to the subject, for example, I have entered the class and I'll straight away start today's English class, and I'll be talking about English fillers and etc., general basic, general slang, parts of speech, and etc., etc. And what happens, you won't be interested in listening to my class, or you'll be like wondered, why is this person so hurrying up and telling up the class or taking up the class. So this is a very wrong thing, isn't it? So daily use terms and the words will make sure you talk proper English, and it will help you in understanding things. Now this is the most important thing that you have to remember in the general slang. Alright, so let us see the slide here. If you can see here, we have general basic questions. As I have said you, general basic questions will help you in understanding how exactly things work on and how exactly the things will move forward and how things implements by using them. Alright, so I'll show you the next slide. Please note down if possible, because try speaking them all the time, because these will help you in having a basic general questions. So here we have, how old are you? When's your birthday? What is the time? Where did you study? Which school are you from? Or which college are you from? And many more. So these are another set of questions that you have to remember whenever I speak about communications and the daily slang. So whenever I speak about the daily slang and the general basic questions, this general basic questions are being used every day. In fact, I mean, you know, every second when you go to a new place, or whenever you're talking with a new person, or whenever you are having a good conversations, or whenever you are into you know, a part of participation in conversations. So make sure you have these general basic questions, which are very important to make the other person feel that you are having a good conversation, or you're putting up a good conversation lines in front of them. So this will help you in having a good conversation, obviously. So these general basic questions will give you a good point in questioning and also the answering on their questions. So let me see the last slide. This is the most regular question that is being asked by every interviewer you go for an interview. I mean, every interviewer you go for will have this question that will be asked to you. So tell me about yourself, and you will be starting with, I am Kranth, and my education is, my hobby is, my strength is, my goal is, my family have these many, that many, and all and all and all, etc. So these are the most important questions of general basics. Alright, so these is the most important thing that you have to remember whenever somebody asks you, or whenever if somebody is putting up a word, or whenever somebody is putting up a question in front of you, just try to answer that question, especially these general questions. You know, if somebody comes and asks you, how are you? You just have to be in a position to say, I am fine, thank you, how about you? So when you say that and reply, people feel very happy about it, because that's when you give them an importance on how exactly things go in our regular lives. Alright, so this is the most important thing that you have to remember whenever I speak about the general basic questions. So now let us see what is the next most important thing before the general basic questions. We have the terms, you know, as I have said you, the terms which are very important, that is, guys, before I speak about the terms, there are situations where you really will be not able to talk. There might be situations where the first time you are having a conference with few geniuses of your company, or with great people, and you'll be so nervous that you can't open your mouth and talk, isn't it? So at that particular point, what you actually can do is, you can basically use the terms. For example, some person is talking, you can just say true, you can just say exactly, or you can say absolutely, you are right, yes, so these are the words that these are the terms that can be used everywhere. In fact, they'll help you in making you understanding what exactly can put when you are totally struck at a point. For example, there might be a situation where you and your senior manager are talking, and whenever you people are talking, you can't just argue with them, or you just can't put up that whatever you're talking is absolutely wrong or incorrect. So at that particular point, you just have to use some regular terms of English, where this will help you in understanding that the other person was telling right or wrong, or whenever they're communicating with you, they'll understand you that yes, you're listening to them and you're being patient in understanding them. So these are the most important things that you have to remember. So I'll repeat the slangs and the terms once again. Hey, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. I'm sorry. Please accept our apologies. Can you please excuse me? What do you think? Do you think it's all right? Glad to meet you. Where are you from? Take care. Especially take care is being used whenever you are ending the conversation, whenever you're talking with somebody, or whenever you're on phone, or whenever you have met a new person, or when the particular time comes where you just have to give them a send back, or when there is a when there is an option where you just have to give them a send off, or whenever you are in interview. Obviously, we have sendbacks. I mean, somebody who can't really perform well, they are called as sendbacks. So when we do sendbacks, obviously we'll say, please improve your communication skills, or please improve your knowledge skills, and then come back again. So take care. So take care is something where we put it as a regular term, because this is when, once it's said, people feel convenient enough that they are talking with you. So this is an easy way to make people impressed about your communications. Let us see the next point. If you can see the slide here. It is urgent. Is it urgent? Is it important? Did you have your breakfast? So these are most probably used morning terms, like whenever you meet people in the mornings, early mornings, or whenever you meet up your new friends for the first time, or whenever you meet the friends in the early hours of day. Obviously you will ask, did you have your breakfast? Because if you didn't have your breakfast, let us go for the breakfast, or something like that. So did you have your breakfast? Yes or no? Obviously the answer will help you out in having the conversation, or start to a conversation. Or if you're talking with any of the officials, you can just say, did you have your breakfast? So if they said no, let us go for a breakfast and have a small talk. Or are you in a position to give me a company for the breakfast? So this helps out to have a good conversation, obviously, to build a rapport, right? So let us see the next thing. Shall we go out for a movie? What do you want to eat? Let's do something fun. Let's go and play outside. So what do you want to eat is something where it's similar to the breakfast. Let's do something fun is something where you know you have a leave, and when you are going to your friend's house, or when you are just calling to your friend, you know, telling him to come to your house for a party or something, you can just say, let's have fun, man. You know, let's you know, do something fun, or let's have fun. You know, let's do something fun is something where you will be ready to, you know, get excited, or you know, to do very obnoxious things. At the same time, you can just be very, you know, playful at that particular time. So these help you in telling your friend or telling anybody, or you know, if you are in a professional party, you know, if you're in professional party, you know, you have thrown a party to your friend. So what do you say? Let's do something fun. You know, if you can see the point here, let's do something fun will obviously put all people in a situation to do something new, you know, which they haven't done yet. So they'll be basically coming up with new thoughts, and you know, collidence of conversations can happen, and new introductions will take part. So let us see the next point. Let's go and play outside. So when you're playing in your college, if somebody have come and disturbed you, or if you are you know, there are situations where you can put up so many add-ons for this term. So am I disturbing you is something which is used regularly. I mean, this term is being used regularly, because if you can remember, if I say am I disturbing you, you know, always put on this term every time before you start the sentence, because whenever you are putting up the sentence, when you say am I disturbing you, can I come and talk to you, or am I disturbing you, is this like, you know, is this the right time to talk? So this will make the person feel that you are bothered about him or her, and then obviously they'll make sure they'll convey the message to you in a right way, because this will make the other person feel comfortable in talking with you. So let us see the next point here. May I know who are you? If somebody have called you, and if you know, these are some telephone etiquettes, if I can say you know, because without commonly used terms you cannot even talk on telephone. Yes, the other day we were talking about telephone etiquettes. Whenever I speak about the telephone etiquettes, these are the most commonly used. You know, if you can see the terms here on the page that we are looking at, every word can be used on the telephone, right? So this is what a professional way of giving the conversation to the people. I mean, these words help you in giving a good command on the conversation. So please try to note down and use them every time you get a chance, because these terms will help you understanding their situations, your situations, and then these terms will collide each other's way of talking. Please note it down. Can you tell me where to find good books? I wonder if you could tell me where to find good fruits. I mean, whenever you're going for a market, or when there is a situation where you are planning out to go for a market, or you know, you are stuck in some place and you want to buy some fruit. So what is that you're going to ask them? I wonder if you please don't mind, I wonder if you can just tell me where can I find fruits, or this can actually tell them that you are basically in a confused mood, or you are in an asked situation to find out something. So this can help any person to have a conversation with you and start having a rapport with you. This will help you out in understanding the other person and making the other person feel that you are in necessary of something. So let us see the next point here. What do you think about it? This is what usually we use. What do you think about it? That means you have done a project, you had an amazing debate, or see, what do you think about it is a term that can be used anywhere. In fact, I'll tell you, there is a situation where you have done your project in your college, and or else you have given a seminar in your college, and after giving up the seminar, you'll come back and sit at your place and you'll ask your friend, what do you think about it? Like, how did I give the seminar? So you get a lot of feedbacks, you get a lot of conversation exchanges with you, so that you can just talk with them. So this is what happens usually. All right, so let us see the next point here. Where do you work? So when you say where do you work, you are meeting up a new colleague or your friend after a long time. So you can just say where do you work, or where are you working, or these terms helps in people understanding you. So this is what you just have to remember whenever I speak about commonly used terms on everyday basis. So now let us see the next slide that we have, that is the basic questions which help out in questioning and as well as answering. Guys, make sure everybody note it down, because whenever you talk to anybody or whenever you speak with somebody, these are the basics that you have to remember every time when you talk with the people. What's your name? Where are you from? What's your address? Where do you work? What do you do? So for these, the answers can be so convincible. My name is, and you will be telling your name. And when somebody asks you where are you from, there might be a situation where somebody will ask you where are you from. So you have to say I am from this place. When you say I am from this place, the listener or the commander will make sure that you are very convincible in telling the answer. Or when you say the direct place, I mean, for example, if I am from Delhi, if I say where are you from, if I directly say Delhi, the people will have an awkward look on you, or an awkward an expression on you. So make sure you give them a right answer with continuation of I am from, so that this term will help, or this answer will help them in proving that you are very down to earth or very convincible. All right, so let us see the next question. What's your address? So I am talking on the phone to my friend. Whenever I am talking with my friend, there is one of my friends who obviously changes his address all the time. So I'll be in a diplomatic place or situation, or I don't know where am I. So I'll be talking, for example, if I have gone from here to New York and my friend is in New York, and once I go to New York, I don't know where to go, or I don't know where to stay. I don't know what is the place all about. So what I do, I just call him and then I ask, you know, what's your address? When I don't know where am I, they can just tell me what's your address, so that he'll message me and then I'll go to that address. So it's very easy. You use this term every time, or whenever you're talking with your friend, you know, he'll say I'm staying at Andhra Pradesh, and you know, it can be Visakhapatnam, it can be any place, and then I'm going to say what's your address, so he is going to give me the address. So whenever you ask the address, straight away the person will give, you know, my address is, you know, if you can see the answer here, we have my address is and then blanks. You can just say my address is this street, that lane, and then you can say the initials of your address. And where do you work? I work at. So where do you work is something where usually when a good conversations happen with you know, good business people, or when you are meeting up few important people in your you know, businesses, or you know, you have put up a side business, and if you want to try to communicate with that person, so first thing that you have to is ask is where do you work, because by getting the answer of where he or she works, we can plan our business according to their mentality. For example, if he's a software engineer, obviously he'll be very cool. If he's a you know, hardware engineer, or if he's working on you know, on products, he'll be very tempered, because he used to take many, he will be taking so many you know, feedbacks. He'll be taking many situations where he'll not be convenient enough to work with. So these are all the situations where you can just put up where you work from, where do you work, right? So this can make a pre-planned or a post-planned situation to command yourself with. So these are some of the general questions. So let us see the last point here. What do you do? I am. Oh. So if somebody have asked you what do you do usually, you know, or when you have asked somebody what do you do, this selective term or a question is being used so many times, and this will be asked so many times to you, or you might ask so many people as well. So because I'll tell you why do you use this. So to know about the person, or you know, what do you do, like you work or you study, because without knowing what the person is, you literally can't have a conversation, isn't it? So what do you do is an important question that pop-ups every time. So always remember this question and try using it every time and everywhere, right? So let us see the next question, set of questions. So here we have how old are you, because you know, whenever you are going for a party, or when you are taking up somebody for granted, and if you are just talking with them, or if you are having a personal conversation, make sure you ask them how old are you, man, and then they're going to say I am this much years old, you know, or I am 21, 22, 23, 24 years old. This will help you out, you know, especially girls talk about you know, when's your birthday, you know, because birthday is always important, and whenever somebody asks you when is your birthday, you're obviously going to say my birthday is on, like, you know, never say it, never just say the date, you know. If somebody asks when is your birthday, just so that everybody have that particular situation where somebody will ask you when is your birthday, and whenever somebody asks you when's your birthday, then you'll directly say the month and the day. That is absolutely wrong. You just have to say my birthday is on, you know, or my born day is on, or my particular date of birth is, you know. So this is how it makes a good impact, you know, at the interviewer, or if somebody is actually having a conversation with you. So let us see the next point here. What's the time? This is a regular most asked question everywhere. If you see, you know, it can be your own person, it can be anybody, it can be from your ongoing situation. Everybody needs time, right? So whenever you are at a place, there might be a particular person who will be walking to you, and they might ask you, can I know what's the time, or what is the time, or can you just please tell me the time? So whenever it is about the time, always make sure it's 7 o'clock. it's 8 o'clock or it is. So it will help you in making the person understand what time you are actually telling them. This will always help you in answering this type of questions. Or if you are asking somebody, make sure you ask, can I know what is the time please? So this is the most it's the most easiest way, or it is the most commanding way, or it can be also the most requesting way that you are asking to the person. So this can be used everywhere and everywhere. Well, let us see the next question. If you can see in the daily slangs, we have which school are you from? You can say I am from this school, or if you are, which college are you from? You can just say I'm from this college. I am from APSSDC. I am from Saint Mary's. I am from Villa Mary, or anything. You can just say any name that comes to your mouth on that particular situation. I am from this college, or I am from this school, or I am from that university. So this helps in the person to know about the importance of what you are, and this is all about yourself in fact. So let us see the next set of questions. What are your hobbies? This is when you talk with any of the interviewer. So when somebody asks you what are your hobbies, people, what happens when somebody asks you what are your hobbies, obviously you'll say singing, listening to music and all this. No, never say like that, never go with the continuous saying answers. Just like, what do you like actually? Hobbies are something which you like doing it and you do it. So you say, I like reading books, I like music, obviously. So this is what makes sense when you talk, right? So let us see the next point. If you can see the next point, what do you want to become? Obviously everybody wants to become something. Everybody wants to be a doctor, or anybody wants to be an engineer, or anybody wants to be an actor. You can have this, these are interview set of questions in fact. And you can say, I want to become an entrepreneur. What's the weather like? What do you like doing on a holiday? Do you like watching movies? So if you are the talker, then you will be like, I like, and you will say your hobbies. And if somebody have asked you, what do you want to become? You can say, I want to become a good employee. If somebody have asked you what's the weather like, the weather is very cold, the weather is very hot, the weather is very drowsy, you can just say anything. If somebody have asked you what do you like doing on a holiday, you can say I like hanging with my friends on a holiday. Do you like watching movies? If somebody have asked you, do you like watching movies? Obviously, you will be saying, yes, I like watching movies. So this is the way you have communication done with your particular person who is having a talk with you. So this is the most important thing that you have to remember whenever I speak about general basic questions and the daily terms that you use. And the last question that we have is, tell me about yourself everywhere and every time in the interview. So this what I think you know better than me, and the interviews are all about how do you introduce yourself and about you. Just start with I am. So people, thank you so much for listening to my class today, and we had the daily slang class about today, and thank you so much for being patient and understand me. Hope you everybody have understood what I have spoke today and what is that we have learned today. Share this video if somebody wants to learn English and talk English immediately and instantly. These daily terms and daily slangs will help you everywhere whenever you are at the conversation point. So thank you so much. I am Kranth and I am from APSSDC.